in sales personally. The next one is 5 personal recruits last month or this current month, 10 by 10 on your team last month, 5,000 in personal premium, or you made 3 grand. Okay. By the way, Cassie did all of those things last month. So give it up for Cassie in the Zoom chat real quick.
Sales personally.
Because Cassie hit all 5 of those things. She did. She made 4,000. Cassie, how much did you make last month so far? There's still tonight of cash flow left, and maybe I think tomorrow too. But what's your cash? Where's your cash at?
It's 4,300.
$4,300, guys. That's awesome. And she runs an override business. There's nothing wrong with that, but she's really good at training her licensed people. So if she was out training like unlicensed people and just Cassie, we've talked about this. I'm not trying to be mean, so I know you know that, but like if she was running with unlicensed people, that would probably be double, probably be closer to 10 grand. And so just know that like what you're doing is working, Cass. And once you get your RVP contract at the end of the month, your income is going to double pretty much overnight. And that's exciting. So, but guys, look, you got to get on these calls. You got to do everything you can to never miss another one of those calls, because what we just went through with everybody, I can't go through with we don't have time to do it with everybody, number one. And number two, it's built for for leaders, right? It's built for people that want accountability. And when you're doing the right stuff, generally you want to be accountable. So, awesome. Well, guys, we're going to talk real quick about the leaderboard for the Universal trip. Excuse me. So right now where we're at, it's still anybody's ball game, y'all. We are 1 week into like a 13-14 week contest. If you've written yourself off from winning that trip already, you are nuts. But I'm just telling you, like, you are crazy. There's 13 weeks left. Like, you could come into this thing the last couple of weeks, make a decision and go win. I'm not saying that you should do that. That would be dumb. You should actually go and work and get this thing done. But here's the standings right now. Also, Lydia on the way to go pass her life exam. Everybody give it up for Lydia in the Zoom chat real quick. Super excited for you to go get that thing done. Brian scheduled his SIE last night. So give it up for Brian real quick. Everybody type Brian in the Zoom chat. I don't care if you spell it wrong. It's fine. You'll be okay. Brian will forgive you. And Angie's got her SIE this weekend. Guys, look, go schedule your next exam. You're like, Dan, I'm not life licensed yet. Well, then your next exam is your life license exam. Go schedule that one, right? If you haven't scheduled your SIE yet, go schedule it. Get with Lynette today. Go schedule your SIE, guys. The only way you're ever going to pass the SIE is if you take the SIE, right? And the only way you're ever going to take the SIE is if it's scheduled. So get with Lynette and schedule your SIE, schedule your 6 or 63 cast, whichever one's next. Get that thing on the books. I'll get my 26 on the books as well, guys. Schedule that next exam, because those exams are going to get you motivated to actually go and study so you don't fail, right? So make sure you guys do that. So currently, with the standings for the trip to Universal, there are 6 of you tied with 2 recruits. Remember, there's double credit days and stuff like that in here. So like if you're like, well, I only have 1, or that person only has 1, it was on a double credit day. That's why they have the number. But there's a whole bunch of people with 1 recruit. So you got Jenna, Dave Williams, Robin and Hugo with 2, Stebbin with and Jasmine with 2, Tammy with 2, Josh and Stephanie with 2. Okay. So some of you guys actually have 2 people that you've recruited. A couple of them got double credit days. That's fine. That's how it works. I don't want to hear you cry about it. They just took advantage of a double credit day and they got double credit for a recruit. So you'll be okay. You had the same day that they did. You could have done this exact same thing. Okay. Now, personal premium. Karen with 3,733. Cassie and KJ with 2,916. Tammy with 2,736. Tammy, and also your new recruit. What was her name, by the way?
Leslie Harris.
Leslie. Okay, perfect. I just got to throw her on there as well so I don't forget. Okay, so Leslie got that. And then let's see who else. Josh and Mahela with 2,088. And then Larissa with 1,800. And then Angie and Jill, and then Amanda and Jenna all with 1,500. Shanae with 1,257, and then Abe with 984, rounding out the bottom there. Builders production points. I don't know for sure who's where, but I'm going to guess above RVP. right now, or not RVP, sorry, above division leader right now, I'm gonna guess it's Josh. Josh probably up there. Karen and Elian and Cass are all probably up there. And then district leader, I'm pretty sure Angie and Tammy are the only two that have any points in builders production currently. So, guys, trust me, like we got to go get after this thing, man. We got to go win this universal trip. It's going to be awesome. So, what's that? Everyone, because they all need to pass. Oh, only Taylor said who's on the bubble for licenses, meaning they're scheduled, is just Angie and Brian. So you need it, guys. Look, remember, if you get all three of your licenses, so you're 6, you're 63. Basically, if you get the licenses that you need to go RVP, so whatever state you're in, if you get your licenses and you run a total of 5 and 5, okay, so you do 5 by 5 over 3 months. On your team, that's not hard. That's really not hard at all, actually. You should do that every week, but you go 5 by 5 in the 3-month period total, and you pass 2 or 3 exams, you get to come to Universal as well. So how many of y'all are going to go get your SIE scheduled? That's what I want to know. Put in the Zoom chat if you're going to get that thing scheduled, please. I want you guys to get that thing done. So get with Lynette, get it scheduled. It doesn't need to be for tomorrow, but it also doesn't need to be for the beginning of August. Okay. It could be for 2 weeks out. And if you actually focus and study, you'll be fine. I promise. You got 3 attempts. All right. So with that being said, I wanted to just kind of go through that with you guys this morning, of looking at where we're at and seeing what we can do. So what I need you guys to do, first off, if you're on the docs, go fill the docs out. We need to be over 150. We have to be over 150, and please don't let me have half the appointments. Like, I'm not trying to be mean, but don't let me have half of the team's appointments. I will, and I will keep running at 50 or 60, and we'll keep finding new people, but get your numbers over 30. Have a little bit of personal dignity and personal respect if we're part-time, and get our full-time, and get our appointments up above 15 and 20. I promise you, for 2 years, I've been full-time in Primerica, and I've never seen somebody below 25 building a business. They've maintained a 5 by 5 or 10 by 10 base shop, and it never goes beyond that. When they take their numbers up to 40 or 50 or even 30 sometimes on the docs, if they're good at closing, when they get their numbers up to 30, 40, 50, what happens is you start to see their numbers climb over other people. They start to win the trips. They start to get licensed agents. They start to qualify. Guys, type in the Zoom chat real quick. Activity is everything, because activity is the single most important thing that you have, that you can control. If you don't have high activity, and high activity might be relative, but if you don't have high activity, you're falling behind. You need to figure out, hey, I'm going to work 15 hours a week. Great. So you should be sitting on 15 appointments a week at least, or you should be setting appointments in the time that you're not sitting on 15. So let me give you an example. Let's say, John, that I got 10 hours a week that I'm going to put towards Primerica. 10 hours a week, I'm either setting appointments or I'm running appointments, right? I'm not making new graphics. I'm not making a fancy spreadsheet or a new presentation or watching trainings or catching up on whatever. That is not income produced. You're doing 10 hours of income producing activity. IPAs. What is income producing activities? Sitting with the people, or getting in front of people, or getting new names and numbers and contacting those names and numbers. That's it. Well, Dan, I got to learn the presentation. You will on the appointment with your trainer. Like, that's where you're going to learn the appointment. Well, Dan, I got to practice this. You will on the appointment with your trainer and the follow-up after. Well, Dan, I'm just not doing great at setting up appointments. Call your trainer, practice it for 30 seconds, and then you'll be way better because you're off script. If you took the 10 hours a week that you told us on the interview that you wanted to really build this business, you'd be making some money right now. Here's the thing that people think is work. Self-development is work, but it's not paid work. Self-development is delayed gratification. Massively delayed gratification. When I started really working on myself like 7 or 8 years ago, I didn't really see any fruit of the labor at all until like 3-4 years ago when COVID hit. That's when I started to see all the crap that I like learned start to come out. It was in a hard situation. Because when things get tough, when you have to make decisions that impact other people, that's when what's inside comes out. Otherwise, you're just filling yourself. What are you filling yourself with? What are you listening to? What's in your headphones when you're on your walk? What are you listening to in the car? What do you do when you wake up first thing? Are you on your reels for 48 hours? Right away, first thing in the morning, you just jump right onto Instagram or Facebook and you're just there until this happens. And then this call starts and you open up a Zoom call and you put your phone back down next to you while you're laying in bed still? Or are you up moving your body on a walk at the gym while we're on the call? There's no reason that you couldn't be working out and doing this at the same time right now every day. You could put that into effect. Guys, look, like I'm going to push you to be a better version of you, because the better version of yourself that you can be, the more fit you are, the more emotionally engaged you are, the more intentional you are with your business and your work and your relationships with friends and family, not even about the business, but just in general. The more people are going to want to follow you and be like you, the more people want to spend time with you because you show up for yourself. You can't fool somebody. Like you can't fool people. People aren't dumb. People know when you're on your game. Like you can ask Taylor, like, I don't think many people outside of Andy would have been able to lead us in this business because I was already pretty developed personally. Like I didn't need somebody to hold my hand and walk me down the sidewalk and say, there's your house. Like I already knew where I lived. I knew my values. I knew what I could do. I knew what I was capable of. I needed somebody to show me how. And once they showed me how, it clicked and we did it. Like, and there's nothing wrong with you needing to have your hand held in the beginning, but are you learning your address, right? Are you developing a little bit? Are you trying to figure out where you live so that way when you get into that scenario, you know where to go? Like, what's your center, right? And I know this is maybe not exactly like a Primerica wake-up call this morning, but it's a Monday. It's always like everybody wants to start their diet on a Monday. How many of y'all said you were going to lose weight starting Monday being today? Right? Don't raise your hand. But I would be willing to bet in a group this size, at least a few of you are like, I'm going to start getting in shape next week. It's freaking Monday. Get off your ass and go work out. If that's what you said, start keeping your word to yourself. Right? We wonder, and this is, I've heard this a bunch of times, but one of the things that I heard recently, and it just hit a different way, was that like you don't show up and do the things that you need to do because for 30 or 40 years you've been saying you're going to do stuff and you don't do it. So when you tell yourself, oh, I'm going to start a part-time business, or I'm going to go 5x5 this week, and you know damn well that you have 0 appointments on the calendar and you're not going to do anything to set up any other ones other than sit there and look at your computer screen on Zoom on Tuesday night, Sunday morning, 8 a.m., Monday through Friday, and Saturday morning, you know damn well you're not going 5x5 because you're doing the same result to get the same, like you're doing the same inputs to get the same result you've gotten over the last 30 days. For things to change, you got to change. If you want to take your activity to another level, you have to take your activity to another level. And then your closed business follows about 30 to 60 days later. Right? Josh, when did you start really ramping up your activity? How long ago?
In January when I started.
Well, like again, like you, because you kind of like, we had
I was in a dry. So that was like the beginning of like, I'd have to say kind of like the middle of last month. When did you really start closing business after you started ramping it back up? Just the other day.
How long? So not immediately, right?
Not immediately, no.
Took a couple of weeks. It took a couple of weeks. And I, Josh, were you still running appointments during that time?
Absolutely.
But during that time, something was off mentally, probably, and you might not know it.
Yeah.
But something was off mentally, John, where you're like testing yourself. Like, all right, I said something changed, but like it feels the same. And am I going to be the same or am I going to be different? And you wake up every day with a decision of, am I going to be the same or am I going to be different? And you just have to make the decision of, I'm going to get better today. Look, like I finished phase 3 of 75 hard last night. I failed that program 2 times. Last night was the 3rd year in a row that I've attempted it, and I actually got through it yesterday and I finished it. And Angie, everything inside of me was like, today, like have a drink, get a margarita, like eat taco or whatever, like eat something horrible for me. But then I woke up this morning and my alarm went off. I snoozed it a couple times, not gonna lie, but I snoozed it a couple of times, and I'm laying in bed like, what is the purpose? What is the goal? Like, what am I trying to accomplish here? And who am I leading by doing that? How am I getting better by going back and doing all the crap that I was doing before, after I just put 30 days of getting very intentional of my efforts and my goals and knocking those things out? So I got up and I went for a walk. I listened to my Bible. I did a little bit of like praying and listening to music, jumped on that leadership call with you guys. We're on this right now. I'm done with this. I don't even have to do cold showers anymore. I'm going to go do that and get ready for my day. Why? Because it doesn't matter what you do a couple of times, it matters what you do every day. The systems that you put in place to take you to another level will take you there if you just do them. There's no secret sauce. Here's how you get better. You read books, you stop wasting your time, right? What do you mean by wasting your time? Netflix, video games, whatever, things like that are not there. It's a cost. It is a time cost, right? It's not an investment. It's time cost. You understand the difference? Reading a book is a time investment, right? Listening to a podcast generally is a time investment. Okay. If you're listening to like some gossip podcast, that's wasted time, but you get the point. Like listening to a personal growth podcast, listening to the news, time spent, time lost. Okay. Honestly, let's just be real. Like you have to invest your time. The only way that you get more time is by using your time right now wisely, getting skills to leverage your time with other people, make enough money to use other people and pay them to do the things that you don't want to do so you can get your time back. Yes, delayed gratification, 100%. It is, but because you're not going to like just start doing stuff today and be a leader that's leading 100 people. It's not going to happen. Like my leadership capacity tells me that I only have the capacity to lead 35 or 40 engaged people at a time because our meeting attendance is not going beyond 35 or 40. And so what do I need to do to get better? I have to level up. Right. And think about your own life. Think about yourself in that instance, right? How many people are on your team before you feel like you're like scrambling and you don't know how many people that you can lead? Because we all have that number, right? You get 3 people and you're like, oh my gosh, like my life is in shambles. Like, well, then your leadership capacity is 3. And so you need to become better. Well, Dan, that's mean. No, it's just true. Like you might not like it. That's fine. I don't care if you like it. It's just a fact. Like, I don't care if you don't think the sky is blue, like the sky is blue. Like it is what it is. Like you can be mad at me for saying it, or you can just recognize that that's just the way that science is. Like it is what it is, right? Like there's so many things that we try to question and we're like, well, I don't like the way that I feel. No one gives a shit about the way that you feel. Your business doesn't care about how you feel. The people that you bring into the business that you are supposed to be leading don't care about how you feel about the things that you need to do every day. They just want to see, are you doing the things that you need to do every day? Right? I might be pushing on some of you guys a little bit, but Lydia, I'm so freaking proud of you because Lydia, you and Matt, the only thing that we've closed so far with you guys is your own life insurance policy. It's been 2 months. Lydia's on every call. She's listening to the things that I tell her to listen to. She's one of the first ones to text me every time I send out a video of her biggest takeaways. And I just know that if she keeps showing up and keeps doing and keeps developing, that work that she's putting in the background right now is going to yield them such a big result over time. But Lydia, I'm not going to say anything that I don't think you already know, but like you come into this thing and you're not at a point right now where you're really capable of leading a whole lot of people, right? But we have to develop to get there. Right. And the ones that are willing to develop are the ones that over time will win. Right. Because you'll start attracting the right people. Lydia is now setting like 2 appointments a day. Right. And we're going to work on getting out of a Facebook market and into a warm market. And I'm just super proud of you, Lydia. And I want to give you a shout out because you show up every day. And I'm just super excited for what you're doing. And guys, she bought leadership school tickets to Tampa Bay to get down here. So she'll be down here at the end of the month. Dude, some of y'all live in Florida and haven't bought your leadership school tickets yet. Like, I'm just going to say what it is. Like, listen, like, do you think I want to coach Lydia or the person that won't show up from 5 minutes away? I want to coach Lydia, right? Even though there's no results there yet, because there will be. that's screaming to me like I'm the one. Like, spend your time with me, coach me. Like John Lopes moving down here, staying in a room in Clearwater just so you can be closer to the office. Like Elion, move across the country to get down here to be around us. Tammy, moving down here to be in the environment. Listen, I'm not telling you to move your whole life to Tampa, but it's pretty nice down here. It's sunny. It's 80 degrees right now. Listen, it's better than Michigan. I'll just say that. But you can make your decisions and do what you want. But at the end of the day, guys, like, you show up, you work on getting better, you get on enough appointments. I promise you, this thing will grow for you, but it's not going to happen right away. And guys, these calls, like these decisions that you are faced with, that I push on you guys a little bit right now, of like making you feel uncomfortable. These are the days and these are the moments and the decisions that when all is said and done and like the tree shakes out, right? And when we're at the point now that you're sitting back 5 years from now and you've got a couple RVPs and you're building a business and you got 100 people showing up to meetings, these calls are going to be the ones that you're like, Dan, thank you for saying that to us. Because it's the moment, like it's moments like this where like you are faced with the reality of you have gotten you exactly where you're at and you are capable of getting you out of that situation, and I am not. Right? Only you are. Josh can't get you out of a situation. John can't get you out of a situation. Only Josh can. Right? John, only you can. Right? And how bad do you want it? Right? I'm my only problem and I'm my only solution. I love that video. I'll put it in the Zoom chat or the Telegram chat when we're done. And I want you all to watch it. I want you to listen, actually listen to the word. I would challenge you actually to sit at your desk where you're at right now with a notepad and take notes on those 2 videos. It's 10 minutes total. And post your picture of your notes in the chat. Because it's gonna make you be engaged and make you be accountable. And guys, if you just internalize some of the stuff that we talk about here and you actually take action on it, it will change your life. I promise you. It will change your life forever. You'll look back 6 months even from now and be like, I'm a completely different person and I'm proud of myself because I put the work in. And that's the most important feeling you can have. I know I told you guys to do the docs and I know I'm running really long, so we're not going to hit the docs right now, but I do want to know, what are you closing today? So everybody just put in the Telegram, what are you closing today? Keep an eye out for those videos. I'm going to throw those videos up. And then last but not least, guys, at 11:30, if you're local here in Tampa and you want to see an office that we're going to go look at, I would encourage y'all to come and check it out. It's at 1:30. We're going to go look at it. I'll get you all the address. Text me if you want to come and see it. I'll get you guys that the address. We'll post pictures in Telegram for those of you that can't be there. But guys, look, I love you guys. Make that decision. Go become a better version of you today. Make those steps and do what you guys need to do. I love you guys. Also, get with Lynette. Schedule your exam. Text me after you do that. Text me a screenshot of the date that you scheduled your exam for. There's 19 of you on here, like 3 of you have scheduled exams. So get your exam scheduled, figure it out, get with Lynette.